Hey everyone, and welcome to the first Pokemon Productions episode of 2026 and the start of Season 7 of Pokemon Productions. Yes, that's right, Season 7. I think 2026 is going to be a very good year for the show, or at least I hope it is. So today I'm going to start off the new year with a video game review, and it's a game I've wanted to talk about for a while, so no time like the present. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Ben 10 Alien Force, the video game. So this is the first of 3 video games to be based on Ben 10 Alien Force. As you can see on the cover, we have Ben himself there, and we have Gwen and Kevin in the middle, and then in the background we have, well, I'll tell you what it is as we get into the game. So this game is based on the first 2 seasons of Alien Force, and the best way to describe it is it's kind of like another version of the 2007 game Ben 10 Protector of Earth, which I actually do have, where you basically go through different levels and fight against loads of enemies on the way to the end of the level, and you do kind of go like left and right and stuff like that. Kind of like a 2.5D side-scroller, except not 2.5D because it is mainly a 3D game. And there are some platforming bits in the levels. And the enemies you fight, they do consist of Forever Knights, Pickaxe Aliens, and DN Aliens. But that's all there is. So the story is that Ben, Gwen, and Kevin are basically tracking some sort of alien tech that picked up on Kevin's scanners, and they have to get it before their enemies do. So for starters, they're trying to get these pieces of tech before the Forever Knights can get their hands on them. And along the way, they run into a plumber known as Gorvan, who is a Tetramand, or is basically a member of Four Arms' species. And he basically tells them that he's been on a secret mission collecting pieces of alien technology and also finding out what the Highbreed are planning to do on Earth. The Highbreed were the main antagonists of seasons 1 and 2 of Alien Force, so I guess it only made sense to bring the Highbreed into the Alien Force game. So the team then joined forces with Gorvan to help him in his mission, and also to stop the Forever Knights, and also to eventually find out what the Highbreed are doing. So Gorvan basically sends them to different places to find different pieces of alien technology, which he then puts away for safekeeping, basically. And eventually we do come to a point where Kevin and Ben actually think that Gorvan is hiding something. They don't seem to trust him that much. He seems a bit suspicious. So basically, they then work together secretly to find out what it actually is that Gorvan is hiding, if he is hiding something. So while Ben then goes out to find the other pieces of tech, Gwen and Kevin see if they can find out what happens, or what is happening with Gorvan. Eventually, they do manage to find a recording of Grandpa Max, who basically tells them that Gorvan has been stealing alien tech from the plumbers. He's been selling it as well. He's basically been selling alien tech on the black market and stealing it. So he's basically gone rogue from the plumbers and is now considered a fugitive. And once Gorvan realizes that the team know that he has gone rogue, then he just doesn't hold back. He's done pretending. He sets a load of xenocyte creatures onto Kevin, and they partially mutate him into a DN alien. And so after Ben is able to restore Kevin to normal, he then confronts Gorvan. And it turns out Gorvan has been making a deal with the Highbreed, which to Ben is a very stupid move, because the Highbreed don't care about any other species. And Ben then does warn him that as soon as they get what he wants, they'll destroy him along with everyone else, because to the Highbreed, every other species is inferior. But Gorvan doesn't listen, and then they get into a fight. Ben obviously defeats him, and then obviously we get to the main plot where we see the Highbreed again, like in person, and it turns out they've constructed an array of weather towers, and that's what these things are. That is a hybrid weather tower, and they've constructed a whole array of them using the tech that Gorvin tricked the team into stealing. And it's basically coating everything in like cold, wintry weather, because that's what the DNA aliens need. They need to have it. I think they need like cold weather in order to thrive and, you know, acclimatize to the planet. So basically, they're trying to make it all snowy and stuff like that, and so everyone would freeze to death. So Ben then heads off to the hybrid command ship, and he thinks that by getting it to take off, it would disable it, but it turns out it starts it up. And so Gwen and Kevin then work together to destroy the array themselves, and they do eventually manage to do it, putting the hybrid plans back quite a bit, and they do. And there is a little bit of a teaser for the events of the season 2 finale. So overall, it's a good story. It is similar to what they were doing in the TV show, because the games are separate from the TV show, but it is still going into the same story. Now, the gameplay itself is pretty good. It basically consists of light attacks, heavy attacks, and special attacks, and you can mash them together for different combos. So it is a bit like Protector of Earth in a way, because you could do that in Protector of Earth. And also like in Protector of Earth, unfortunately, you only have access to 5 alien forms. You can only access Swampfire, Big Chill, Spider Monkey, Jet Ray, and Humongousaur. Now, that's only for like console versions, like the Wii version or the PS2 version. There's a DS version as well, where the aliens are a bit mixed, where you get different aliens. You still get Swampfire and Humongousaur, but in place of Big Chill, Spider Monkey, and Jet Ray, you instead get Goop, Echo, and Chromastone. Why they had to change it, I don't know. I honestly don't know. So yeah, you basically just beat up enemies. It is a beat 'em up, basically. And like I said, the enemies mainly consist of different variations of Forever Knights, Pickaxe aliens, which are Volcanus' minions, and the DNA aliens. Not exactly a good variation of enemies, just 3 types of enemy. Whereas in like Protector of Earth, you had like all sorts of different enemies. It's just 3 different types in Alien Force. Although you do get 2 different DNA aliens as well. The Pyronite and the Vulpamancer, or rather Heat Blast species and Wild Mutt species. And also, you do also get to play as Gwen and Kevin in some of their specific segments, where with Gwen you can do different melee attacks and like judo throwing and stuff, and use Gwen's abilities and stuff, and basically create a shield, and you can use a shield to block enemies, but you can also create a shield that basically covers Gwen's body, so you don't actually need to block. You can reduce enemies' attack power on you, and with Kevin, you can absorb different materials to create armor like metal, stone, or wood. Those segments are quite fun, but it's always best to play as Ben, you know? And the boss fights are pretty cool as well. Like, obviously, you face off against Gorvin at some point, and like I mentioned, when Kevin becomes a DNA alien, you face off against him, but before then, you face off against some sort of mech dragon that the Forever Knights have lurking around. And after going through all sorts of Volcanus' minions, you've certainly faced Volcanus himself. The final boss is the most different, and that's the Hybrid Commander. Different in a sense that you don't actually fight him. Like if you try to fight him, your attacks will not have any effect on him. He doesn't have a health bar in a way. All you need to do is activate these switches while you're trying to avoid the hybrid, and that's it, really. It's kind of a unique concept for a fight, and when I was a kid, I actually remember struggling with that fight the most, because, well, to be honest, as a kid, I thought the main point of a boss fight was just to start attacking it until it was done. But no, you just had to be strategic. You had to survive, basically. But yeah, the boss fights, they were pretty cool. My favorite would, I think my favorite would have to be Volcanus, purely because I like the character as a villain. But all the bosses are pretty good as well. The graphics, well, they're not the best, being like 2008 time, and it's on the Wii, so, you know, not exactly HD. But on the plus side for the characters, the voice actors do return. So we've got Yuri Lowenthal as Ben, and we've got Ashley Johnson as Gwen, and we've got Greg Sipes as Kevin. pretty much all the main cast of the show return to reprise their roles. And all in all, I just think that Ben 10 Alien Force, for home consoles, like my version on the Wii, it's quite an interesting game. Like, I think it's quite fun. I wouldn't call it the best Ben 10 game out there, but it's certainly fun. And if you guys loved Ben 10 Protector of Earth, I think you will like this game as well. And who knows, maybe at some point in the future, I will also review Ben 10 Protector of Earth, because I do have the PS2 version of the game, but that will be for a future video. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the start to the new season. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Ben 10 Alien Force video game, and let me know if you prefer it over Protector of Earth, or do you prefer Protector of Earth. But again, let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.